Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bring the Heat podcast. I'm, of course, your gracious host, Tony, and we're here to talk esports and everything else, of course. I've got my lovely friends here, Bones Only, or Tom, Joe, Quick Draw Basso, and, of course, we've got Huzzi here this evening to join us about some esports discussion and then a bit of comeuppance in Sydney, of course, and New South Wales in general.
Yeah, listen, Adelaide gang, we're just better than everyone. We're here again. It's great. We're actually in lockdown this time, but yeah, I guess, Reese, did you want to just walk us through, I guess, what your role is and I guess what you've been doing and who you are in esports and a little bit of background for anybody who's been living under a rock?
Yeah, for anyone who's been living under a rock. So primarily, my background comes from PUBG, playing semi-pro, and then moved into owning an org, and then COVID shut me down quite hard. RIP the COVID boys. And then I moved to consultation to marketing, directing, managing, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I've been doing lately in the esports world, managing, consulting esports orgs, companies, and game developers, streamers, and the likes to develop themselves into the future.
Cool. Well, I mean, you know, the podcast is about esports, right? But we are going to touch really, really briefly on the absolute clusterfuck that happened yesterday in Sydney. Both cluster in regards to people just being absolute morons, and also cluster being who's ready for a K COVID cases in the next week, baby. I'm waiting for it. It's coming. I don't know, man. Like, you know, when you see a video of someone punching a horse, I think that's kind of just like the peak of stupidity in this country. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that's fucked.
Well, fucking, that's assault of a officer as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Is the horse an officer?
Yeah,
it
counts
is.
as hitting a on-duty officer, yeah.
Like, on what level of, like, stupidity you gotta be? Like, there's tiers to this shit, and I should know, but, like, this is up there.
That's like a new category altogether.
Yeah.
Like,
I just want to know, like,
topped it.
Like, how'd the dude's hand end up after? The horses are tough, man.
It wasn't even the horse. You know how to have the eye guards on them to protect them from that type of shit? That stuff is made, like, it's really tough. Like that mesh that they've got on the
Yeah, well, that
eyes.
stuff's meant to be glass proof, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. That's the, like, he would have hurt himself more than the horse, if I'm going to be honest with you. But yeah, like 57 people got arrested and 90 got charged. Like, also they all had no masks. So
Just asking.
We're fucked. We're absolutely fucked.
Numbers are going to 1,000 without a doubt. Like, my God.
I mean, today's 141 at the moment, from what I've seen. So they're already going up.
It's down
It's
20.
141.
Yeah,
it's 141 extra
one case
from last week.
Yeah.
So I think it's currently, what is it, Sydney?
Oh, they're going to be pushing 2K overall right now. They're going to be close.
Love New South Wales.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tony, how you feeling over there?
I'm regional.
Yeah, Tari! Woo! Tari! Let's go!
Out of the mix at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't fucking come here. I'm about to move, and I would like to move successfully without having COVID fuck it up. But, you know, we can pray. We can pray just somehow.
First time for everything.
Everyone stops being an idiot. It's just that easy.
It's impossible. Like, honestly, with the amount of morons that have been doing stuff like that recently, I just can't believe it. I mean, I'm glad it's not my state, but then again, if anyone wanted to try go anywhere this year, I think after last week's discussion about PAX, I think we're fucked, personally.
I mean, at least for the East Coast, if you want to go west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give up on the East.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it's alright.
We're back. We're good. Yeah.
Kind of just cut out. I
I
mean, I guess, like, we don't want to touch on it too long because last week's episode was like an hour and a half, I think.
Well, not long enough.
Not long enough.
Wasn't long enough, apparently. I mean, like, who's guessing the numbers for tomorrow, guys? Because obviously, I think it's kind of suitable. We kind of have to at this point.
I'd say 200.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably around like 170 for tomorrow, honestly. I don't think it's going to hit 200 yet, but I think it's 210, you reckon?
210.
Tom, what are you feeling?
I've got little faith.
Well, considering that I don't think those people who are at the protest are going to get tested, I'm going to actually say 110 again, around that area.
Oh.
Gonna lowball it.
It's just like they're not going to get tested, and when they do, it's going to be 4,553.
Yeah, they're gonna be
it's-
all positive.
It's a shit
Did you
situation,
hear
but
like
again,
there was going to be a anti-mask protest here in Adelaide? Did you hear
Yeah,
did
but
you
it's
hear
not-
about that?
Yeah, 5 people
Yeah,
got
I mean,
arrested,
but here-
17 fined.
Well, the cops immediately said if you do it, you're getting arrested.
Yeah,
Like, there's no ifs, no buts. You were getting
Yeah.
arrested.
on the spot fines and
Yeah,
being
correct.
arrested. That's what happened on
well, at least
Saturday
here
morning.
it's not as bad. We're meant to be out of lockdown in 2 days, and we
Yeah,
have
one
no
case,
like
yeah.
cases in the community. Yeah, they're all in quarantine, so
Yeah.
we're chilling. But I guess like we should start on the esports topics. I guess starting things off, the only reason I got Huzzi on today as well is because he knows about the FE stuff as well. So we actually have a little bit of, knowledge,
love
which is
Frag
always
Empire.
lovely.
Yeah, they should
Frag
start
Empire,
paying us by now. Like, we're just giving them advertisement.
Yeah, I know we're just giving free promotion, but I
Right.
mean, after last week when we talked about the
Yeah, they can
Fortnite stuff,
afford
they've
it.
now gone and picked up. They've gone up and picked up the ex Chiefs COD team. Personally, I wouldn't have seen that coming in a million years. But the only reason those boys would probably go to a brand like that is if they're offering a fat bag. Probably nothing else, if I'm going to be real. Because I was having a chat to some of the Chiefs guys, and like the numbers they were playing monthly was like $500 to $600 a week a player. So it's like, what the hell is FE offering that could match the price of Chiefs, who is like they are the pinnacle of esports and OCE.
Yeah, it seems a little bit fucking absurd. And as you said, Frag Empire, and as we said last week, I guess they just have a fucking absurd amount of money to just throw at shit. COD, didn't think that would be their first pickup, like after, of course, all the Fortnite signings. But yeah, it's a reputable team, to be fair. Chiefs COD team, there's a few names on there that I recognize. Obviously, I don't know all too much COD. Tom, you could probably speak more about this roster overall, but yeah, throwing a bag at 4 COD players, yeah, they'll take it, even if there's not much else behind it. It's a bag.
Yeah, talking about the roster, it's a top 2 roster in the region at the moment. You're not going to beat Renegades for like money wise, and especially how much they've won over the last 2 years. Is it a good decision to go into COD? No, you're burning cash. Literally, you're just going there for cash and nothing. You got no return in it unless this team is going to beat Renegades and somehow get a visa to be able to play in regional champions, which is basically end of year champs, but for all the Div 2 teams. And that's the only place they can win up to, I think, 60,000 max. If they even make it last time around, I think Renegades, since it wasn't even on, I don't even think they qualified for it, because we're from APAC and no one gives a shit about APAC and OCE. But I think what Jody said, 600 per player or something like that. So what's that? It's like 2.4k a month or something that they're paying, or a week.
Around that, I think it's like 500. But yeah, I mean, COD in OS, it's not really a good thing other than lands, which don't exist currently. I know we obviously dipped in with the old COD team with Man of Chicken and stuff, and now are at Mindfreak, but it's a very weird scene. I think the Chiefs guys put it best, where it was like there wasn't really any streams either for it. So the only streams were the players streaming it themselves. So it kind of proves how little, I guess, self-care there is in regards to promoting that space. So I know there was a period where XP was trying to do bits and pieces like that, but now they're doing the Women's League and FIFA, and they've completely thrown COD into the trash. So there isn't really much going on for them.
Yeah, like they do have their online tournaments, that sort of stuff. Like Play AEN, Vertex boys, they do a brilliant job with the COD scene. But it's nothing there for them. Like it's nothing. No content comes out of it from a player's side of things. Like you look at the top players from NA, NEU, they're playing Warzone, or they're playing the game itself. They won't scream on stream, which is totally fine, because tactics and all that sort of stuff. Even though how hard is it to freaking play COD? It's not that hard. It's a free lane game. It's just fucking hold angles and shoot. That's basically it. Welcome to CS:GO and Valorant, boys. You can do it all.
Well, I'm currently
Um,
looking at the chief socials, and I can't find anything that's Warzone for the past forever.
I just have to look at Mitch
Yeah, because
Robinson.
what even they didn't even announce the departure of the team. They just they just had an LFT post for the actual roster.
So is it still
That was about it.
restalling? That's captain. Like, is he
Yeah, it's
still a thing?
restalling. Restalling is still captain, and
It's
then you got
restalling.
Setsi and I can't remember the names. Yeah, so you got Zeppa, Setsi, Swifty, and Restalling. Restalling is obviously the captain.
Oh,
All
yeah,
four of
SC
them are
is still
veterans.
the-
All four of them
yeah,
are veterans in the
they've been around
scene.
for years.
Yeah, they've been playing. They've been around the top since they were 16 odd. Simple as that.
They've never been to a major, haven't they?
No, they've been to majors. Setsi's been on main stage. I think Swifty has. I think Restalling's actually the only one who hasn't been on a main stage.
Didn't two of them play for like the Paris team at some Paris Legion, I think it was? Or was
That's
no,
what
none
I'm
of these
just
lads
looking
played
right
for
now.
Paris.
They played in
No, was that the
London in
Renegades guys?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're talking about the Renegades guys, then yeah, that's them. That's Shocks and that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
these guys. I reckon the last major they went to was before the Call of Duty League, or Call of Duty World League, which is basically Blizzard's form of Overwatch, the Overwatch League. So basically, let's put another league to die in the same format. That's happened there, and these boys, they haven't. Their main stage would have been Champs 2019.
okay. I mean, I guess the main conversation obviously is not around the COD team, it's mainly around the org, but I don't think there's really much we can, I guess, add on to it until we see, down the track, maybe like a month or so, and in relation to if players are going to be coming out and saying they're not getting paid or something's going wrong. Like, I want to give them the benefit.
All
give them the
they're
benefit of the
doing
doubt,
right now
personally.
is, from what I understand, is all they're doing is they're trying to buy their way into the scene. They're trying to buy their way to the top, which, from what I normally see, it never works because the org isn't really that developed, unlike others. I mean, their graphics are shites. Let's just say it, that it's done by someone who's done graphics for the past year as a 16-year-old kind of thing.
Putting their VFX guy on blast already. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nah, listen. If he's a kid, he's learning, which is cool.
That's fine. But if you're an org that's going to pay thousands of dollars for players and give them literally the bottom of the barrel when it comes to content and whatnot and the quality of it, then what's the point in the first place?
I think on top of that, like, it just doesn't make sense in my head how you can. Nothing against paying teams what they deserve and what they're asking for. Not having a dig at that, but it doesn't make sense to me how you can pay it a roster or a player $2-3 grand a month and you literally can't do GFX yourself. Like, you can get like a really good graphics pack for like $300-400 AUD, and that covers you for like 6 months. It's not hard.
I mean, shit, you can just go to bloody Fiverr and just pay someone $5, and that'll make something better than that.
Even then, but I mean, even then, we're not having a dig at the graphics
I've
designer.
gotten cheaper graphics and a better like that pristine from Fiverr.
And this is why it's called Bring the Heat. This is why it's called Bring the Heat. Put everyone on fire.
From what so look, it's Teddy, isn't it? I think that's
yeah, his name's Theodore.
Yeah, he's a
So, like, my hat off to the guy. He's worked his ass off. He really has. Like, if he's able to have all this cash and all this flow through it, he wants to give these players a chance to succeed and to actually be a top tier team with the paychecks at least. Then all for it. But you could be putting your money elsewhere. You could be really putting it in places where it's going to actually develop your org as a whole, rather than just develop a team for one single league.
Yeah, actually, on top of that, if you had the money, which league would you go into? If you had this guy's kind of money, I personally would be going into Rocket League.
Yeah.
Just go to the more popular. Not Rocket League.
Probably not Rocket League.
Nope, not Rocket League.
I'm just saying what I would do. All right, fuck yous, all of yous.
Listen,
if anything,
if you have that sort of money,
and your entire goal is to make your brand the biggest brand in OCE or whatever, why not just go buy a top tier Dota, League, CS:GO team?
CS.
Three games that are the top of the actual world right
CS
now.
is prime at the moment, I'd feel.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's a good way to transition just into the Rocket League part of this. We've had a nice chat about FE. Now, just on Tom's topic. Now, the seat's fucked right now. Like it's totaled.
It's dying.
So the simplest way, I was talking to Ozzy from Ground Zero about this because they've got the best team in OCE at the moment. So, players are retiring. Like Cringe Society, who came second in the split event that GZ played them against. Drepe retired because there's no Lance, so he's gone. Then the other two people on that team as well, they've decided to part ways because they didn't want to play with each other. And now there's other Rocket League pros as well that are just retiring because they just don't want to play the game anymore because there's no lands, not enough prize winnings. Ground Zero is just going to shit on everybody. Like, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
It's all right if you buy the Ground Zero team. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I think
there's a lot of money that goes into that team, though.
It comes down to the players actually wanting to get better. Like, how many of these players do you know that are actually actively training every day? Like, and I mean, like, not just playing. I mean, like, actually training. Like, actually trying to practice sets, practice, different maneuvers, practicing and analyzing other teams and how they play.
Yo, our boy Timmy.
One or two teams. Top.
Big ups.
Big ups to our boy Timmy.
Big ups to our boy Timmy.
Big ups to Warriors social manager. Let's go.
Killing it.
So I can understand why the scene's dying. I really can. These teams, there's no hope for them to beat these other teams. I mean, if we want to look at an example, look at your PUBG team there, Joe.
Hold up.
There's a lot of it comes to the point where it's the mental game. These teams are going up against your GZ and whatnot, and they're going, we can't win. We've never won. We're never going to win. So what's the point? And so they've lost the battle before it's even begun.
So I wouldn't go against Amphis. That kid's fucking insane.
He's an absolute nuts player, and he's
that man almost won our first championship for Fury. So I'll give him props for it. But I think the other thing as well, GZ has a lot invested in that team as well, though. Straight away, they've got therapists, dietitian, nutritionists. They've got the whole wazoo for this entire roster, which I can respect. Last year, they made 263 grand in winnings across the year. So that's colossal for Rocket League. And I think they placed in the top 10 teams in the world, EU and Latin America. They placed number 7 on that list for prize winnings. And that's in front of teams like G2, in front of teams like not Vitality and such, because they're still dominating in EU alongside BDS and that. But it's big money. 263 grand, that's nothing to scoff at. That's around about 80 grand a player probably for the year, which is more than what the average person earns, which is normally 52 grand a year for the average person. But these kids are 17, 18-year-olds, and they've probably made more financial.
There are better ways than most people out there.
They've made more than their parents. So it's props to them. Honestly, if they've got the balls to commit with all three of them, they've got Jimmer on board as well, who we know is an awesome coach. He's not a coach per se; he's more of a dad figure who, he coaches the kids to do what they need to do.
Make your
I
bed.
think it's awesome.
Make your bed.
Yeah,
make your bed before you play, kids.
Firstly, before you play, you got to make your bed, do the dishes. Does your parents need the lawn mowed? That's what we want.
Are your
That's
hands washed after you peed?
Before you even play the game, you got to mow the lawn.
So, but if you're gonna for that team, right? If they did want to get better, the only way they're gonna get better is scrimming overseas.
Yeah,
it's the only
Which
way.
on Rocket League, it's
it's a bit of a bit of an issue.
Because I know we had the Intel event as well, which was meant to be at the Olympics, but obviously it's all done online between Singapore and all those teams like that. And even then, GZ just clapped the competition on high ping. They have I think 120 to 200 ping per player, but as I've touched on before, Rocket League you can play on that ping. It's not the worst in the world. But I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I think a lot of players just need to commit a little bit more. But I know a lot of these kids are still young. You know, like there's a lot of them who are probably still in school studying as well. That's how the RL scene is. Yeah, I just can't expect any team to come up to their caliber for the time being. With the amount of like investment GZ's put into them as well, like I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere near them for a long while.
I guess speaking of collapsing, this gives us a crucial pivotal to our next point here. Skyfire dying again, I guess, or merging with Overt. It's a little bit of an interesting one, of course. I don't know too much about it. It's just of course come up, but Skyfire again collapsing. Who would have thought? Will they be bought again? Who knows? But
There's
go to
always
Overt.
enough in the name. Just let it burn. Let it burn out.
Just let it burn. Listen,
let
that
it
thing keeps
die.
dying and returning like a phoenix every time. I think the owner tweeted out as well. He put out a statement. He's like, "I'm not intending on selling the brand." I'm like, "That's what the other 5 guys have said," and they still did it because they got offered a bag for it. So it's like, listen, if it doesn't happen, it will be a blessing. It'll be a blessing to us all. We'll never have to worry about that shit brand coming back ever again. I've said it. I've been holding back for so fucking long. I just need it gone. I never want to see it again. But we need to touch on this because this merger has me fucking confused. Because
Just why?
you see the points I've written down, right? Yeah, why? So, financial gain, cool, nice,
Is
whatever.
it really
everyone does
financial
for
gain though? Like, let's be honest.
I don't know. That's the problem.
Because Overt
listen, I'm gonna
cannot
state my
pay for the
thoughts.
players.
Yeah.
Okay, so to put some context into it, they picked up Sora and Sock from GZ, who they're in Melee. Now, that props to them. Congrats on the pickup. Great for them. Sock's a friend of ours. He's cool. Yeah, Tony.
Wait a minute. They
My-
picked up Sock?
Yeah, and Sora. Yeah.
What?
Now,
The fuck?
the turnover of Overt's Smash team has been 17 players in the last 8 months.
It's a washing
So-
machine.
It's
Mm.
it's a big turnover. Yeah, I compared it yesterday where Overt's like the washing machine and Skyfire's the team getting rinsed around inside until they're not needed and they get taken out of the washing machine. Another one gets thrown in, rinse them around, similar to what Forbidden did as well when they merged with Overt. But I think looking at the teams they picked up, the female Siege team, the Rocket League Freestylers,
Not even a team.
I don't understand
Content?
the thoughts behind it, but you know what? Obayo is a very Rocket League orientated person, so he's probably got ideas for them. So I'm going to let him.
Especially
have the benefit
content,
of the
isn't
doubt
it?
for that
Especially
one.
content
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah,
I
big
think
content.
so, which I can respect as well to some regard, and obviously the 2 Melee players. But I, not to talk badly on Overt, like they've got the highest community interaction in the country regarding tweets. Not even Chiefs or Order has that interaction. Like Overt's way in front of everyone else, other than probably Power, because obviously they're Fortnite orientated. But I think they're kind of just the org that kind of just sits there. Like they're there and they tweet stuff, but they don't actually do much. If you get what I mean by that,
Yeah.
because I don't really see them compete in much anymore. Like
Well,
Rocket
they're
League,
always
they
in
pick
the
up a
middle
team
tier.
for a split.
They're
they
never
disband.
up here. They're always
Yeah,
here.
that's. I don't know what it's going to be to take them to that next level, but I think the other thing I wanted to mention, the OCL Siege team did not get merged, and the CS roster did not come across in the merge.
So they're free
Now-
agents.
Correct. So OCL for Siege, that's what we compete in with Prez and such. So it's a good league to be in for a low tier org, I'd say. Because Exo's in there. Skyfire was in there until they merged and now they're LFO or whatever. And then the CS team, who's literally in Premier, I think, again. So
It's
that's already like
dirty and all that, isn't it?
the upper echelon. No, that's like Typer and
Oh, type.
Doggo.
Yeah. Wait, that team's good as fuck. Wait, why did
So-
Overt not take them?
Yeah. Well, they came
So-
third in the open qualifiers, second open qualifiers, I think, third or fourth.
So they're not like they're not the greatest team on paper. Like I really like every one of their players individually. Like I'm personally pretty close with a lot of those guys, but I kind of want to see what the idea behind it is, because the interaction is great and all with their tweets and whatnot, but I'm not sure if they're doing the more esports brand approach or the content orientated approach with just trying to get as many interactions as they can, get content out on whatever platforms they've got. Because if you think about it, the female Siege roster, that's more of like a development thing, I'd say, especially in OS. Because the league, like, it doesn't really get much recognition at all.
It's the XP,
Freestyling thing, probably, yeah, the XP stuff. Then RL freestyling is probably content, and then Smash.
Melee doesn't exist at the moment, at least in OS.
While with COVID going, there's just it's nothing. It's basically Rocket League.
Though,
yeah.
Like even without COVID, it's like Melee and OS has kind of just been more so kind of just mates playing together. I think hasn't overseas it's a lot more thorough, but I don't know. It's Melee. A weird topic for me. I don't want to talk too much on it. Like I really like Melee, but I just want to see what Overt want to do, man. Like I just don't know what's happening.
Well, I can speak a little bit about Melee because I watched the summit, of course, to pivot over to the Smash Summit, and probably the greatest potential series in the past 5 years that has been played for Melee. Of course, we saw, I believe, Mango take it home. Big bag secured by him. I believe it was 50K or something like that, an overall prize pool. Joe's looking at his food, looking like a snack. But yeah, Mango.
This is better garlic
Zain.
bread than what I had last night.
Big ups to garlic bread. But yeah, Mango versus Zain, a crazy series. It went the full reverse sweep. Of course, the bracket was in terms of Zain's favor. Of course, he went through the upper bracket. Mango had to make the losers run. He reset the bracket with a very convincing, I think it was 3-2, I believe, in stocks overall. I don't know too much about Melee, but he reverse swept, he reset the bracket, and then he did it again. Of course, I believe it was down 2-1 in stocks or something like that. Insane play from Mango, of course, insane consistency overall from him. And, beating out players like Plup, like Hungrybox, who have historically he's struggled against, and he even tweeted himself, this was not his greatest tournament. Like this, he wasn't even thinking about winning at all, but he did. And that was a crazy accomplishment for him overall in terms of Melee. And I guess Melee as a whole is now on a big up after that series.
It'd be interesting to see what comes from it. I'm not going to deny it. But back to like Overt and Skyfire. Like, why was the merger even happen? What? Why? Like, you're going to merge with a team that's come back more times than an ex-girlfriend. Like, why?
I think the biggest thing is Overt does this all the time though, because they merge with other teams because they can't fund what they have, so they merge with other people to help fund what they have, and then they're like, oh yeah, we'll bring on this, we'll bring on that, and then they put like I can almost guarantee the women's league is probably on nothing. They don't get paid. I can almost guarantee that. No.
The big thing is for the Skyfire, the owner, I think it's Kaza. With his little statement, he could only do so much without he had very limited knowledge on how to do stuff, and he didn't have the management structure to continue. So that's where he moved across. They absorbed Skyfire, and they do have, the managers there to help.
But instead of merging, why not just hire people? Like, why not get more people on board?
There's not many options. There's not many options. Like if you're gonna sit here and draw, a list of who's eligible as a manager right now and who's actually going to be useful. Shut up. We didn't say we'd name drop on this.
I just did,
we already
right?
talked about this.
No one said that. In my contract.
Okay, so I guess
seen the title of this
the last
show.
thing just to
Bring the heat.
The last thing we'll mention on this topic. So they went across to the merger because he didn't have the the management to keep going. Fair enough. Mergers across to Overt. Now I want to see what happens there because nothing's really come from those guys at all. They've recycled through more teams, and some people have had girlfriends. But nice, Tony. You wanna put your hand up for that one? Give yourself a round of applause.
Vouch.
Right here.
I'm trying to get the fingers working, but it's not happening.
I'm a little dude. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, I think it should be interesting to see how they go. But I think the next topic, I think this is a pretty interesting one because of how close APAC South was for Siege. So there's a upcoming Mexico major event for Siege. Now there was like a 6-way tie for first place. 6-way tie in an 8-team league.
Wait.
Yeah, correct.
What?
Yeah. So
Close
to put some context into it. Yeah, so APAC South is like the league above. Oh, sorry, there's OCL, OCN, and then APAC South. So APAC South is where all the guys from pretty well APAC, like I think it's
Japan and stuff like that. So it's Cyclops. Cyclops is
No,
representing.
so for us, no, so they're north. So
they're north or west.
So
bad.
with us, ours is Australia. There's also
the Knights.
So it's Australia, Taiwan, Thailand, and I think Singapore.
That's north.
No, say north. So
See, the two gingers that don't know directions.
Yeah, there's the hemisphere and there's north and south of it, guys. Just go below that.
Huzzi, I don't know how to use a compass. Just shut up.
So just to tell you guys this, so on the last play day, it came between, I think it was Invictus and I think it was Elevate. Basically, Invictus had to beat Elevate for Knights to qualify. Looking at the bracket for it, Knights finished on 13 points. Elevate was second with 12. Q Confirmed drew in third with 12. Then Invictus was on 11. And then Chiefs and Wildcard in 5th and 6th had 10. So you can see how close it is overall. Like, the bottom two teams were 7, Hayden, and Order, but they were on 8 points. So literally the entire league was close, like the entire way. So it was interesting. The Knights got through. So they're the ones that got the invite to Mexico. And there will also be another team as well that goes through with the APAC playoff slot between, I think it's, where are we? Elevate, Q Confirm, and Invictus going up against, I think, the 3 from APAC North, I think. But I could be wrong. But at least for the most part, will they get out of the country? That's the question I'm proposing. Will they get
from New South Wales? No.
I reckon
straight no.
I'm gonna throw. All right.
Chiefs, you're done. There you go.
I'll throw this up real quick on that. If they quarantine and have their vaccinations, yes, they will be granted the sporting visas to leave. If they already have COVID, one of the players, then they will have to sub out. But they will have to come down to the quarantine and the vaccinations. But back to the playoff spot, it's Elevate, Q Confirm, and Invictus from our region. And then you have Day One and Fnatic from our region as well. You remember they're in there too. So Fnatic has to play for their spot.
Australia.
They're technically in North, but yeah, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, but they got the Australian flag, right? They've only got one. They've got one person that isn't from Australia on their team, Fnatic.
Up the O's.
It's a guy from Chinese called Mentalist.
Oh, well, he's a goat.
Yeah,
He's a goat.
Yeah,
Mentalist
so-
just the goat.
yeah. So
He's nuts.
I haven't watched Martial Arts 6. Leave me alone. All right,
Good
so we've
catch
got
up.
Day One, Fave, Mercenaries, and then they're from like APAC North and South Asia Nationals. Oh, and you got Kira as well from India, from the South Asia Nationals.
Mhm.
That's the playoff spot for our regions. So, and it sucks because Fnatic has to play Invictus in the first game.
Jeez. That's
So I think-
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I've-
in theory, I think the teams that should qualify for the LAN event, just trying to find what the playoffs are. So at least in my head, I'm pretty sure it should be.
It's top 2 from playoffs
It
as
should
well.
either be. So it's going to be probably Fnatic or Elevate that will go through the top. And I would probably say Damwon Kia. That'd probably be the other one potentially to make it through. Like Kira, Fav, and Invictus and Mercenaries. I think there's definitely potential for it, but I think those three were probably one of 2 out of the 3 teams.
Wait, don't my boys Kira fucking they going all the way, Joe, alright?
Yeah, big ups.
They're going all the way,
Rhymes with
Kira.
Buck. Have a player named Rhymes with Buck. What a cool name. Rhymes with Buck.
In all fairness, so there was like an Italian team at the last 6 major that actually did pretty well. So, you can give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think it should be interesting to see how that does go.
Yeah.
Tony, did you want to talk about this next one?
Yeah, so Soniqs Valorant team, of course, we know them, we love them, the former EXO clan or roster, the former region favorites here in OS. They went over to North America chasing the potential of qualifying for a VCT main event, and they choked it every time. Round of 32, round of 64, they beat convincingly. They faced Sentinels in one of those VCT brackets. That when Sentinels started to make their run, of course, over to Reykjavik and put themselves as the best team in the country and the best team overall in the world. Soniqs Val, I have to say they've gotten a lot better since arriving. I have to there's of course major props to their team overall, and of course all their coaching staff and such. But yeah, they just choked it. It's like no easy way to put it. Especially I guess this last VCT run, they had all the cards stacked against them. They had to face either FaZe, Immortals, or Ghost for a potential chance to qualify. Of course, they had to face Ghost in the round of 16. That's where, unfortunately, they bowed out. Breeze was a little bit closer. It was 13-10, but Split didn't look great at all. Unfortunately, Soniqs, overall as a whole, that team just doesn't play well on Split. Of course, they did well in OS for it because no one else played it, but NA teams love Split, man. They know how to play it. Breeze as well, especially coming into the pool for this last VCT. Does that potentially spell disaster for, I guess, our teams that are going through the VOT to the last chance qualifier potentially? And does that spell a sour taste for OS as a whole in terms of Valorant, Joe?
Well, my thoughts on the whole Soniqs going to NA thing, and if they fail, you know what's going to happen.
Potential roster.
I think the big thing with me, I've said this. Yeah, I said this before. If stuff doesn't go their way, I would assume 1 or 2 players get poached to another team, or 1 or 2 players gets dropped, get sent back to the shithole, which is Australia, and then they fill those 2 slots with either 2 North American or 2 Canadian people. That's the simplest way of putting it. Because I don't think any other Australian player would be on a similar level to go overseas and fill that slot. And as I touched on before in last week's podcast, there's not a team in AU that can stand up to Soniqs at the moment. There's not a team that is up to their level.
What about Ninum? Ninum's I think he's playing for Direwolves at the moment, but he was cited to go to NA at some point, but that hasn't happened. I don't know whether that fell through or what, but obviously Ninum getting dropped from Wildcard. He went to Direwolves to just, fill in here or there. Direwolves not looking great, I'm not gonna lie. Their Valorant team hasn't had the results you expect of a roster of their caliber, and that's, I guess, as well to the credit Soniqs. They haven't had the roster, the results maybe some of us in OS expected of them. Of course, you've got talented roster there. You've got Crunchy, Plix, individual aim gods out their minds. Ian, of course, a very smart individual player. You saw him put up numbers as well on Sentinels. Of course, that normally you don't see from any, I guess, OS teams that the Sentinel player is the top fragger. But Ian, of course, very high regarded. Bob as well, a very smart individual player. I guess I throw the point back, Joe. Who do you drop from this Soniqs roster? Because they've all individually had moments of doubt, but also moments of shine.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, who's the player that's statistically the worst? That's the first question I'm gonna ask.
It'd have to be. I
mean,
think Bob or
I
Dizzy.
guess I kind of want to hear Tom and Huzzi's opinion on this just while I have a look. Just because I don't want to ramble on for too long about it, but I definitely feel there's probably going to be a player that gets dropped from that team if they do not clean things up. And it's not me taking a dig at them at all. I completely respect what they're doing, and I know they're definitely a team that is committed to stay as a 5-man. But if there is a change that has to be made, they're definitely professional individuals. They will make that change if needed. It's hard to say, Tony. Like, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think more so maybe Dizzy, maybe even Iron, depending on the day. Honestly, it just really depends.
Well, on that, I reckon Iron gets poached.
Iron gets poached? You reckon?
Iron gets poached. Iron has been their strongest player. You can't deny it. And he's got the most content. He's got the biggest content growth. He's got assets behind him now because of how much work he's done with Hiko on stream and off stream. Like, he gets poached to a team. It might not be, let's say hypothetically, it might not be 100 Thieves where Hiko is. It might be a team like Renegades that go, all right, we'll take a chance on the Aussie. And, it might work out for him. Person I can see getting sent home might be Bob. Because Bob has had moments where, he's put up the numbers, but then been quiet 2-3 games. Then once again, has a one good game or one good half of a map or does one good thing. But Dizzy does the exact same thing. Dizzy goes walkabout in an Australian term. Dizzy does go walkabout fairly often. And sometimes he has moments of greatness. It's just, that's the Soniqs roster in a whole. If we can get more moments of greatness while they're still together, then we might have had a team from Australia, from OCE, in VCT over there at the next LAN. But you don't. Huzzi, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue here is you've got players who are stuck in the OS bubble. So with that saying, you've got players that will roam off. They'll split off, do some weird, kooky plays, and it will work. But because what are Soniqs? A B tier, C tier team around there?
Yeah, I'd say it's C tier. NA at the moment.
So when they actually go to that next level, that doesn't work because that's pug plays to these other guys, to these A tier teams and A B tier teams. It's pug play, so they go, oh, we'll just watch this corner. Easy free kill. Opens up rotations and it falls apart really quickly. And then the mental crashes after that. What was it for the Soniqs and Ghost game? I think it was a 10-13 in Ghost's favor and then 8-13 in Ghost's favor again on the split. So they were in it technically on both. They could have made a comeback, but obviously they tried to change up some late-minute strategy games and try to do something new and something fresh and something that really haven't, overly practiced by what I understood and what I saw. And they ate shit for it.
Basically.
In terms of players, I'm not sure. I think any of them are on the shopping board. Any one of them. You can't say this guy. It's really any one of these guys. They're going to go, all right, what is the team that's going to work best next? Not, who's going to perform best, because it doesn't matter if you're you're a god tier Fragger or a god tier IGL if the whole team just doesn't fucking get along. You're going to be sent back to D tier just for having bad teamwork. Because that's all this is. It's all teamwork. No matter what game you go to, no matter what level you are to, it's teamwork.
The question I've got to propose is it going to be a case of the worst player on the team leaving and getting booted, or is it going to be the case of the best player on the team getting poached? Because I think that's probably going to be the big thing. But again, we can't really comment any further, I guess, up until something does happen. But I think the next time these guys do play, in one of the larger scale events, I think that's probably going to be a make or break point for them, because I know Soniqs is pretty invested into this team, but there's going to be a case of either someone gets booted, maybe to another NA team, maybe comes back to OS if they can't get lucky enough over there, or it's going to be a case of one player just getting poached and going to a B-rate grade team. Like,
If Soniqs or the players are smart, they would stay together. That would be the smartest move out of the whole lot. Because if they stay together, they actually work on the problems, work on what they're missing, work on where they actually failed, go back and analyze all their games, go, okay, that's what we did wrong, practice that, come back stronger. Because they're not bad players at all. Like, for their level, they are really top tier players. And I think they just need to spend a little bit more time together, and they will be A tier, B tier in no time.
Yeah, because they moved over 6 months ago. I guess staying together would definitely be ideal. Of course, they've only had a few months in NA, and they already put the region on the map. Of course, to credit their wins against Renegades, where it was always the Sonic versus Renegades story. As of course speak very slightly about it. In the night, I believe it's the ninth monthly gauntlet or whatever, they played in that, and they just went toe to toe with the Renegades time and time again. And you saw them start to adapt. They lost, I guess, the first few series against them, but then they started to slowly claw and slowly work out how Renegades played, and they inched out a win, I believe, last time they faced off in the Ninth monthly.
Yeah, at the NSG Summer Championships. Yeah, the
NSG.
They 2-0'd them. Yeah, in glorious fashion too.
And I guess that's to a credit their work ethic, and maybe I guess we need to see a little bit more adaptability from them, of course, going into the future. But going to the future, our next point, year 2 of the ALGS, and the, of course, $5 million USD prize pool, and both the announcement of the Challenger and Pro circuits. Is this Apex starting to work out, of course, how to be a top tier esport?
Fuck yes. I'm gonna throw it out there. This is the shining hope for so many Apex players and grinders they've been waiting for. Fuck yes. We've waited so long to see something from a game that hasn't done anything on a competitive standpoint. Like, we've been poking it with a stick for at least a year, going, come on, do something. Come on.
3 years now.
But I'm actually sort of happy that they've taken so long to figure out a proper way to do it. Have a pro circuit and a challenger circuit, instead of stuff that's just been, let's enforce a pro scene straight away and have this pro mentality. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm through the roof. I'm gobsmacked for words, actually, to be honest with you. I'm keen.
And I guess the way they've formatted it, it's a little bit interesting, especially, of course, for the Pro League. 20 directly invited teams, of course, and then 20 from the preseason qualifiers. That's a lot of teams in the Pro League, I guess, overall, and as well for the Challenger League. It's going to be, these weekend tournaments for qualification, of course, NA, EU, APAC, South, North, South America, and of course, Middle East / Africa. This overall for Apex as a whole, this is massive. This is a tournament circuit that was very much needed, and of course now a prize pool that's being injected into it of 5 million is very, very good for the scene overall.
Bigger prize pool than COD, by the way.
Doesn't sound like any other esport I've heard of, Huzzi. Don't know of an esport that has qualifiers leading up to a major event at the end of the year. Does it work? Does it only reward people who win, though? That's the question.
Let's have a look.
Do you mean with the standings?
A little bit salty there, Joe.
Anyway. Do you mean wins, losses, points, Joe? Like, want to elaborate? Do you mean
kind of had to take a dig real quick?
Yeah. Shout out to our boy Small. Yep. I think it's a great move from Apex. If they actually get it off the fucking ground this time, like when they first announced it, was it 2-3 years ago now? When they first announced that they were going to have this world championship and everything, it was going to be, massive $1 million up for a prize pool. It was awesome. And then the tournament organizers banned everyone. They banned all the teams because they're like, you've been flagged for cheating. Like,
Yeah, it was a bit
how
rough.
are you banning these people who stream every day on these games and show that they have the statistics and have never been picked up by, the actual cheating fucking system that you have?
Good old anti-cheat.
And you guys just go, no, we don't want you. I think there's something like they banned something like 8 professional teams on the first one they announced.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
think
was-
the original
I think-
TSM roster, all 3 of them were told you have a no compete clause straight off the
Well,
bat.
the team I had also got flagged,
That's-
and
Yeah.
they were some of the best in Oz. They were all ranked in top 10 in Oz, and they got flagged.
I guess that's a call out to Apex's cheating problem, and of course we didn't write out too much about it. There has been a heavy amount of backlash and a heavy amount of hacking that's been going on, of course, over at Respawn. Salty Titanfall players getting amongst it and hacking all of the playlists in game on Apex to say save Titanfall because Respawn they left Titanfall to die. They poked it with a stick here or there, but of course Apex is under a heavy amount of fire because nobody's been able to play the game. Like strongly for the past few months, the servers have just been absolutely terrible, whether it's DDoS issues, whether it's the hacking of the playlist. Respawn are heavily under fire on their security at the moment. I guess this is them trying to build their image because they're heavy under hacking at the moment.
Well, it's
Wait,
almost what every
is this
game you
kinda-
play, there's a hacker. Almost every single game you go in, there's always one.
But it's bad in Apex
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
bad.
listen,
especially-
the hacking issue in Singapore alone, like we can all vouch for this, right?
was about
we
to
play
say
this game
that.
sometimes. Singapore is shocking. Like, I think the ratio is probably you have more than probably one. I think you probably have 3 or 4 cheaters in every game, depending on where you land. But this is just another one of those situations, right, where there's like a TO or like an organizer that's like, all right, this is being hacked. Okay, let's fix it. I'm just going to slap a band-aid on it. And then if they decide to come back, they're just going to rip the band-aid
5
off
mil,
and make the
right
hole
there.
even bigger than what it was before.
They're just sharing this system.
What,
with bloody
5 mil
Warzone,
USD?
That'll do.
Who needs anti-cheat when we can do a global series and patch that hole up with 5 million USD? Fuck the casual player base. Let's just
EAC.
focus on the competitive one.
I think
Fuck
what
the
would
people
kill,
who make us money.
what would
Let's
kill,
focus on the competitive one.
what would actually kill this entire league is if cheaters do get in and they actually
I
make
would.
it. No,
But listen,
if
It's
it does happen,
possible.
and it's possible, it definitely is possible. If they're injecting 20 teams from every region, and their system isn't picking it up properly, I reckon there's going to be at least one player, at least from every region. At least one player will be there, and he'll be a cheater, and it will kill the league.
On top of
Yeah, but
that,
I think-
I have a feeling about that though, Huzzi. When you talk about like hackers and you gotta remember, the qualifiers are gonna be spectated by admins.
Yeah.
Every player is gonna have their cam on, especially in the pro league splits. You're gonna have PC checks much before and after the games. So I think it's gonna be pretty hard to actually cheat in this game, especially at that level. Maybe in the online challenger circuit, maybe you'll see cheaters in there. But at the pro level, I don't think you'll see too many. You might get one, and that'll cost a whole team money and maybe signed to an org. It might even be a lawsuit against them.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. Like, it's also the mentality of the player. So say the team that did cheat, they get through. What about all the other teams that they managed to kill to get that far? What if they actually had a decent chance and they just got caught in rotation?
But it comes down to points then, doesn't it? If that team is found cheating, the
Yeah.
team that's in challenger that was, let's say, missed out by a point. Now that team that got in had the cheater, they just swap. That team gets kicked out. Team
Basically,
in
whoever
challenger comes
second.
up.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it would just be a replace and go again sort of thing. Like, oh, here you go. You were unlawfully cheated out of this. Everyone moves up a spot on the ladder. That's the best that we can do. The top team, the team in second, you now qualify. Congratulations, you're a part of the pro circuit. Or congratulations, you've finished third instead of fourth at the top of the pro circuit, sort of thing. Like, you just get a bigger cut at the end of the day.
I just think it just destroys the integrity, and you'll probably either have either a lot of teams or a lot of players who just quit outright, or they'll just go, fuck comp, won't play it.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of damage, maybe like a damage sort of thing, like come into effect. Maybe even like, especially in the pro circuit, they would have to be underneath respawn contracts, like same as the Call of Duty, Halo, CS sort of leagues where players can't like badmouth the league and all that sort of stuff. There might be a clause in that at the end of the day where they might go, okay, you were robbed of this percent, you'll be given this percent. That's the compensation. We're sorry. As you know, not every anti-cheat picks up every cheat that's ever been made. And that's part of online gaming, and to players, toughen the fuck up.
It's not Respawn running the event, is it? It's a third party, right? They are.
I think it's Respawn.
No, Respawn are reaching out to. I don't know which TO. I don't think it's been announced yet.
I know ESL did the last one, didn't they? They've done ALGS before.
Yeah, I don't think they did last ALGS.
Yeah, they did the first one.
So coming from like Respawn's point of view, if they aren't the ones directly running it, right, and so they're paying these TOs to run their event and whatnot, and then they got these lawsuits come through, and they have to back pay all these players. I think they'll probably even reevaluate what they're going to do, and they'll take away all the the next one might not be 5 million, it might be 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it could be like the instance of a like PCBU to an employer. For those who know that is basically the main host of a company, and then you got the subcontractors, which will be the TO. The TO won't come under fire because they're just doing what the company is saying to do. And you'll see like sort of like a damage effect where both of those will be blamed, but at the end of the day, all the weight on the TO will be put onto the company, and you'll just see damage control come in. There might be a decrease in pool, like you said, Huzzi, maybe not.
Yeah,
but
it's all up in the air. What could happen?
You might see you might not see the Challenger League next. You might see, all right, those 20 teams that were in the Pro League, top 5 secure a spot, 15 have to fight for their spot against the 20 that were in Challenger.
Open league, yeah.
Like you have to fight for your spot next time around, and you are watched when like every single game. You're going to have an admin in your like spectating your team.
I think the good thing is if it does happen, I think Respawn will actually put money into their anti-cheat.
Well, their anti-cheat isn't that bad.
It's just
easy
the anti-cheat. It's
but like
it's literally the worst one out there.
But what I'm saying is,
when it comes to anti-cheat, it's down here, man.
Like, I mean, it's better than Call of Duty's.
In the fucking bin. That anti-cheat is terrible.
It's better than Call of Duty. Settle down, all right? Call of Duty don't even have an anti-cheat.
Actually,
Tony. Moss will fix everything. We'll put Moss anti-cheat on it. We'll fix everything. Give some FPS issues, and it's bad.
Give us Acros.
Even worse.
Give us Acros.
But like going back to the anti-cheat before you guys fucking jump down me throat, all right? Settle down. Fucking, I don't like that many men in my throat. All right, settle down. Friggin'. Nah, but cheats just develop, man. Like at the moment, there's a new program that's been rumored to go around where no anti-cheat's gonna pick it up because it's a growing AI system. It's literally learning as it goes.
Yeah.
Someone's made
heard of it. It's rumors at the moment, but
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a thing. I would not be
either. There's lots of different programs and AIs developing out there for sure that could easily be able to do that stuff once it learns how to. But I think we're another at least 2-3 years away from that, at least.
I wouldn't doubt some little kid, 15, 14-year-old sitting in his mum's basement creating this code, comes out of nowhere in like 6 months. He goes, "Try me, motherfucker." Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know why, but I looked at Tony and that's how I imagine they'll be.
That is.
Just in their little hovel, throwing away as much stuff, living off bread and sauce.
Hey, yo, don't knock it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Saucy. Hey, bread and sauce.
Hey, you ever been low on money during the week? Bread and sauce is a quality
Anyone
meal.
on a budget? Tortilla mission wraps with barbecue sauce. I'm telling you.
You were just paid.
Hey, yo, I might be living off a little bit more now that I'm moving as well. Fuck. It's gonna literally be breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And when he gets a little bit of money, he adds cheese onto it. He goes, "Ooh, nachos."
Melt the cheese, dude.
No, you don't even melt. You microwave it. That is blasphemy on cheese, man.
No, oven. You put it in in the oven.
You oven it?
Yeah. Why
Who
would
the
I
fuck
microwave
puts cheese
it?
in the microwave?
That's
Oh,
literally- that's
Oh,
what
microwave it.
I expect Tony to be the microwave guy.
No,
like it
that's
won't.
Nah.
Steam.
I'm
This
surprised
man
you even
puts
have an
nuggets in a
oven.
frying pan. Like,
He
settle
doesn't even have
down.
an oven. He uses like his electric fucking pan.
Hey, yo,
Exactly.
don't you talk shit about my skillet.
Oh no, my
I guess-
fingertips.
Right. I
Alright.
mean, listen.
Alright, next
We
topic.
need to get back on
boys.
topic.
Bring it back.
You want to continue on the Apex
Speaking
one?
of beef and I guess food, Logan Paul featuring on Sidemen Sunday, and then also KSI being on of course Logan Paul's podcast broke the internet.
The
Absolutely
best
Yes.
podcast in the world.
best.
It's
podcast.
rated number 4.
Rated number 4. But yeah, that's two of the biggest rivals. They had 2 boxing fights. They had a ton of beef, but the Sidemen Sunday, and of course I watched a bit of the podcast last night. They seem to be chill as fuck. Like very humble, very respectful of each other's accomplishments, and seem to be almost best friends now.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
sucking each other
Oh
off.
Yeah.
no, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't call them best friends. So
Listen, all right. I think there's probably a way to put this. So you have 2 of the best entertainers available right now on the same podcast. 2 of the, I'd probably, I guess,
most
like the
iconic YouTubers in the world.
Mm.
iconic YouTubers in the world, and 2 of the biggest dickheads on the platform ever, together on the same podcast. Now,
Hmm.
does
We've
that
got a
not
few.
just scream?
Money?
We've got 4 actually. It's a
Whoa,
bit more than-
whoa,
but-
We
hold up.
outnumber them. We outnumber them.
we outnumber them. Give me a
Yeah.
contract now.
Yeah,
Come on,
we can
sign me up.
take New Zealand with just our numbers.
I'll box Logan. I don't mind. I'll get
You'd
back in
lose,
shape.
but you'd lose, but
Wait, no. On that topic, did you see who was Bryce Hall versing again?
Austin McBroom.
Yeah, so Austin McBroom proposed a 2v2 between him
Yep.
and Bryce against Logan and KSI.
Yeah, we're
Now-
about to have a WWE tag team match on pay
They're
per
gonna
view.
they're gonna get like a fat like paycheck for a
40 street fights.
Like,
40
for
street
street
fights.
fights.
I don't know why Bryce.
I've never
has even
claimed to
come
actually
into
be a fighter,
boxing.
Tony.
I don't know why Bryce is even trying to come into the boxing scene. Like he's just going, "Oh yeah, Logan's doing it. I'm gonna do what he's doing," and just fucking fangirl fucking Logan to the very end.
No,
Jake, he's
Listen,
fangirling Jake.
no, but he's had
Oh,
40 he's had
the
40
balls.
street
He
fights.
just-
He's had 40 street fights though.
Oh,
never
mate,
played
Undefeated.
yeah,
They call
he's
him Kimbo
fucking probably had 40
Slice.
street fights in kindergarten against his little cousin who's beat the shit out of him every time. All right,
Who counts?
he's
Yo, Floyd Mayweather, anyone?
the guy does not understand shit about fighting. He
didn't even
doesn't
train.
move his
No.
hips. He doesn't move his legs. He gets some nice shoulder work and some punches in every now and then on people who don't know what they're doing. But as soon as he steps in the ring with someone who actually has a half understanding of what even boxing is, he gets laid out.
That's why he lost Austin McBroom. Austin
No,
McBroom
I
actually
think
trained.
the most accurate statement I've heard of that was the other bloke on the Impaulisive podcast where he just stands there, he's like, at 7 and then walks off. Like who the
Yeah.
fuck counts their wins?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
just knocks him out and he's like, that's
Salima,
8.
whatever his name is, the
That's
guy in the
8.
middle. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes,
Oh,
that was brilliant.
But when it comes to Logan Paul and KSI, like they both support each other because they're both Team YouTube. They'll always support each other in that sense. As the way the beef goes, from what I understand and how everything comes out to the public kind of thing, it's all for this, Let's be honest.
It's not
these
it's not
guys-
actual beef. Like they're not the closest of friends, but like they're
Well,
still mates. Like
I
Yeah.
wouldn't call them mates. It's like going, yeah, look, you're in my world. You're in the same kind of community in a sense. You're the YouTube community.
I'll deal with you.
You're both fighting it. You're both rivals. They don't like each other. I don't think they like each other at all, personally. But they put up each other for the sake of, the game.
yeah.
catch
You're-
that bag pretty well. Get the bag.
Shit, yeah, I'd fight anyone 50 grand.
50
All right,
grand.
you heard that here first. Huzzi is taking 50 grand fights. Anyone that wants to hit him up, it's of course at It's Huzzi on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'll take an L if you.
Yeah.
If you
You
get
pay
that
him
bag, then why not?
beforehand. Just make sure you get that money first, all right, Huzzy? Don't want to be
money
left out
first.
there like the friggin'...
Just
Don't want to be
everything's
the
working
next.
out.
Don't want to be the next Fortnite clan in OCA, right? Huzzy?
Yeah.
It's all good, don't worry.
Yeah, hold up. I just want to
You know,
comment
why,
on
why don't we start it ourselves? Why don't we just do like host boxing? Right? Let's just go for it.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to be starting a pyramid scheme. If you want in, let me know.
Anyone can take me on. I don't mind. Let's do it. Let's set it up. Let's get into the ring. I haven't got a slanted eye for no reason. Let's go.
I thought it was just lazy.
Honestly, I would pay to see Tony as like the ring holder, just like the side of the side.
Oh, Tony's
Yeah,
the ring
That's
girl?
where it is fucking.
Bikini. It has to be golden bikini. Okay.
And you can't unpull the wedgie as well from the bikini. You has to leave it.
No. G-string.
Can I wear that?
Outright
Can I wear
fucking
that
eat.
chimp mask you've got, Joe?
No.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, actually,
why not?
unless you cut it into bikini with
Of
leave the
course.
mask on too. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah, he'll put it over his entire body, and then the two fucking eyes.
It'll like
are just
you cut
cut
the
out.
arms out, and then you cut like the body out. Just have like a little.
You'll write
thin
that down,
strip
Bones. That's a
on-
content idea right
hold
there.
up.
Write that
The
one down.
monkey suit with a bikini over the top of it.
Oh, easy.
With the giant banana,
I'd have to
but
get
like it's in the rounds instead. So you have the one, and then you have a two, like a two version of that.
this one.
Yeah.
Because
It'll give me a reason to get back in shape.
Well,
gonna
going
be
from
illegal.
looking like Grimace from McDonald's to fucking Hamburglar.
Yeah, we'll fucking if people don't want to fight a ring, we'll just go up front and Macca's and just punch it out, get as many people in. Then after that, we go.
I thought it was like the KFC car park it's typically the place to go. I
Okay.
thought that was.
yeah,
Yeah,
KFC.
KFC car park punch on.
Well,
Just tell the cops it's all it's all fine. It's all sponsored.
It's all,
like-
it's all for
it's
charity.
an organised event. Settle
save
down.
it's all for
Save the
charity.
kids.
Save the kids, and we'll just take the money.
Uh,
It's all good. But I think we need to get back onto topic. I mean, it's a nice little chat about two individuals,
Yeah.
catching a bag, having a nice discussion on a video idea, ultimate fishing as well. That
I
was just
loved
such
it.
a piss take,
That
but,
fishing video was
you know what,
so
we'll
good.
take that. But yeah, I think it kind of let's finish this on the worst note possible. We'll finish this entire little podcast off on literally the worst thing imaginable. And that was the absolute head fuck of the opening ceremony at the Olympics. I think we need to just have a discussion about this.
All right, first and foremost, I am disappointed that there was no Mario, no Luigi, no Nintendo sponsored products.
Sonic. Where's Sonic?
Where is Sonic? Where is he running the 100 meters on the field?
Listen,
What is
listen.
going on?
They had Keith Urban though.
Oh.
No, that doesn't give. I don't give a shit. That's Keith Urban. I don't.
Who the fuck?
That
Who the fuck
man's-
that?
That man's less irrelevant than Sky Knight. Let's be honest.
He's
No,
only famous because of his wife.
Australians. Literally, Australia's walkout song was Keith Urban.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Like, why?
Where's,
Why?
where-
There's
yo,
anyone
Men at
else
Work?
but Keith Urban.
Fucking-
Yo, where's In Excess?
Down
Yeah,
under,
this.
down under. That just down under.
I would. I would have taken.
That's the one.
I would have taken Guy Sebastian.
Guys, yeah, Guys Sebastian makes some fucking banging.
Guy Sebastian, maybe Jessica Malboy in there. I reckon. that
Nah, I
might
wouldn't
be,
have taken Jessica Malboy.
Jess
no.
Malboy would probably.
Um,
How old
She's-
Jess Malboy?
I'm not a fan of her. I think her songs are fucking trash.
I
I
haven't
was
heard
like
Jess
for the
Malboy in
songs.
ages.
I'm just,
Musically,
it's
she's
not like
shit.
she's performing her entire debut single on the fucking Olympics.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I would have
what I
taken Dami Im over her.
Yeah.
We're taking that Dami Im chick. At
Ah,
least she has a decent voice.
okay.
I just
Yeah,
think they
okay,
didn't put
okay,
any
yeah.
effort into it because they're like, it's probably not going to happen anyways. So they just
You know the reason
fucking happened.
they're only
the least
calling
amount
it.
of money as possible on their marketing
They
strategy.
literally called it the 20. Yeah, they literally called it the 2020 Olympics because they couldn't be fucked having to redo all of the banners and stuff for the event.
Mm.
Fun fact. Yeah, because they couldn't be asked changing it to
Yo,
2021.
the beds
so
though. The beds though.
Yo, I heard those beds you can
You-
jump
you know
on
the
them and shit. They're hell strong.
yeah, so the only reason they're doing that is so they can recycle the beds after they're finished. That's the only
Oh.
reason why.
Well,
No,
that's
no, they're
smart.
doing
You
it
take
so
the
that
cardboard
athletes
out of
don't
the beds.
screw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They
They
20.
can still screw.
That's
They-
what.
they
That's the
can
whole.
still
That's the whole
Screw,
funny.
like
that's
it's
the whole funny-
cardboard.
No. It's like it's meant to not withstand two people or some shit.
Mate,
But
I
like,
saw a
Yeah,
sumo
somewhat.
jump.
there's
on
a floor.
There
There's
is
a
a
shower.
there's gymnastic rings where some bitch can be hanging from. hanging
We're,
from
we're literally talking about Tokyo here. Like, at least I've been to Tokyo. They would have been better on tatami mats, honestly.
Yeah,
that shit is
sex
comfortable.
hotels.
Like,
Yeah, hold on. Can we get back to what
Anyway,
Tony just
so
said?
like,
Oh,
yeah,
the Australian block has now just been renamed to SGT STD capital. That's it.
Well, to be fair,
You know, the Americans.
Did you hear about the condom fucking thing?
Yeah.
So
It's-
they had to cancel their order for condoms because of the no contact. So it went from 400,000 to 800 in the whole city. Because in Sydney, they used like 100,000 condoms at the Sydney Olympics, just in the village.
The fuck?
I was blown. I was like, the swimmers are getting wet.
My thing is,
What
I
do you
hope
mean the
those
swimmers?
walls.
Literally
I hope
every-
those walls are soundproof because all you're gonna hear is.
Fucking.
I can't even hear that, Huzzy.
That's
Oh yeah.
that's about as exciting
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
opening.
That's how good
That
my
sounds
mic
like
is,
two mobs
sorry.
doing it, man. Fucking-
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
like all
what
you're gonna
it
hear
is.
is
That
like
sounds what
them
it is.
thudding on the walls, just like. What?
I
Listen
didn't
to
want sound
music? No,
effects.
they're doing doggy. Yeah.
Are you sure? Like, no, hang on. No, I heard the knee crack. I'm pretty sure she's squatting.
She's squatting.
Is there a reason someone's upstairs thrusting to the beat of Michael Jackson's?
Billie
Keith
Jean,
Urban.
you're not
Take
my
it
lover.
Oh yeah, that's just the Australian team going at it. Fucking
Oh.
Aussies, am I right?
You just hear.
Or you just hear from upstairs, is literally just like Keith. What song? Hold up, give me a minute. Hold up. I'll look at the
You just
playlist.
start hearing, I come from the land down under, where women groan and men.
Bum, ba-dum, bum,
Yep.
ba-dum.
Oh fuck. Oh god.
Now seriously, what song do you think they would be doing it to though?
I don't listen to Keith Urban.
Fucking Kid Leroy stay.
Yeah, Kid Leroy. Hey yo, Kid Leroy has been his last album. Look, I'm not gonna lie, there was a few shitters.
If I want to listen to
personally.
trash, I'll empty my bins.
I haven't
stay.
seen the whole album.
It's Fuck Love 3. Yeah.
I haven't listened to it, so don't ruin it.
he's-
All right.
Yeah.
Don't fucking
okay,
ruin it.
well,
Don't
alright, well,
don't pre-ejaculate on my happiness.
I'll let you listen to it. But yeah.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, get back.
All right. So we've been going for about an hour and a half, boys. So
Nah,
I
that's
reckon
not
we
long
wrap
enough.
things up. You know, listen, we gotta finish things off. We've got a new thing. I don't know if we want to call it the standout moment for the week and the worst moment, or we want to do like flop or not. I don't know. We need like
Flop
a
or
segment
drop.
for this.
Flop
I
or
wouldn't have a
drop.
clue what we're gonna.
Are we gonna call it
Flop or
flop or
drop?
not?
Alright, we'll
Flop
go
or
with
not
that.
sounds cool. Tony, you're the
So let's
host.
go for flop or not. The flop for the week is going to be Activision. Sexual harassment allegations and everything else in between. I don't want to discuss that here because that is an absolute
That
disgusting
is a
piece of
minefield.
shit.
That
Like,
is a
that
minefield.
entire company can go fuck themselves. Nothing's topping that. That's probably flop of the year.
I don't know, there's
nothing's
Marcus
gonna get worse
Dibble.
than that.
Sinatra.
Let-
we're not talking about
Sinatra,
that.
Marcus
No, we're talking
Dibble.
about relevant.
No.
We're talking about relevant things.
Mm.
It's on the same verse, it's on the same line. I mean, Blizzard isn't that relevant anyway. They've only got what, World of Warcraft now. That's decent.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Overwatch.
I mean, going off that. So that's the complete fuck up for the week. I guess the standout moment is our Olympic team. Let's go with that because they're doing well. At the
Yeah,
moment. We just
our
got gold
relay
in the
team.
swimming.
Yeah, relay team got gold
Relay
in the
team's
swimming
doing good.
and
I think one of the skateboarders came third, so you got bronze.
the
Pretty good.
girls yet to go in the skateboard.
Let me have a look real quick, actually.
So yeah, back to the swimmers.
I'm
They
gonna have a
broke the
quick
world
look
record.
and see what our medals are like. Yes,
We got a bronze
um,
as well in the men's medley for the first time since 1986 in the swimming as well.
Yeah, not bad.
And I think we got a silver.
I'm just
as
having a
well.
quick look. Yeah, so we have a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Now, I think the bronze, if I'm not mistaken, was the skateboarder. Then there was. Oh no, fuck, I've just seen the silver. My browser's just shit itself. God damn it. Where are we?
Welcome to Joe's Internet
No,
Minute.
so the men's 400. So the men's 400 meter freestyle. That's where we got the silver. So it was McLaughlin who got that. So
Fuck yeah.
again, Australia and swimming. Go figure. We're crap at
Pretty
everything
keen
else.
to
It's
watch
just
the
swimming. We're good at
Taekwondo.
certain spots, like when you're putting your leg up on certain rocks and trying to push yourself up and see how far up you can go.
3x3 basketball. They brought that back in.
Is that wait 3x3 basketball? Is that like the half court one?
No, it's 3/4 court.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it's a full going court, but it's like you take it back to the 3 line. Yeah, it's a bit.
I'm
funny.
not gonna lie. I'm back up recording it, by the way.
Paul.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's fine though. I mean, we've had a discussion. We've had a great time today talking a bunch of shit. Again, if anyone gets butthurt about what we've said, go fuck yourself.
Huzzi's DMs are open.
If you
Yeah,
want
these
to
DMs
box
are open.
on,
If you want to get in a 50, if you want to be a part of a 50 grand boxing match, hit his DMs.
In the KFC
he's
car
open
park.
for anybody. If you're interested in,
Imagine a 50k grand
in the
boxing match in a KFC car park.
we're gonna do literally. There's going to be a content video of some form we do in the future where we just get 2 basketball rings, we'll slap them in a car park, and then we'll just play car park basketball in the middle of a KFC car park. We're gonna do
How long it takes us to get kicked out of the KFC car park?
nah, fuck that. The employees be like, "Yo, we got
How long it
next."
takes to get kicked out of KFC car park gone sexual?
Sounds good.
That's it. That's the part.
That is so appropriate to have after the Activision comment.
Yeah. Shit.
I'll slap some ass. I don't mind.
Hey, yo, with it jiggles. Is
Right, I think.
that
All
jelly
right,
in your
I think
pants?
it's a good way to finish things off. For fuck's sake. Anyway, Tony, if you'd like to do the honors, because you're our favorite ginger here, you've got the voice of an angel.
God bless. All right. Well, guys, let's bring the heat. Episode number 2. Of course, you can check out all our socials. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube as well, for your YouTube channel. Some other websites too. Of course, I all have it linked. And of course, props to Huzzi for joining us this evening and talking everything esports and everything else, of course, under the sun. And we'll see you back here next week for more Bring the Heat.